Bizarre Brain Comics. Whoa. Oh, maybe. Hello. Hello. Gary here for Bizarre Brain Comics. This is where I like to take a look at some older comics, examine the characters and creators, and then break down the stories and the art. So, this is October, spooky month, and so I want to talk about some spooky things. And today I want to take a look at this book right here, which is a reprint of Witch's Tales #1. And then I'll look into the big book of knowledge to see what little bit it's got on Witch's Tales. Not much. This is Witch's Tales Comics #1. It was originally from 1951, published by Harvey Comics. Harvey! I mean, the one that's known for doing all the little kid comics. Casper, Spooky, Hot Stuff, Richie Rich. I don't like Richie Rich, though. It's a horror anthology published by Harvey Comics from 1951 to 1954, and it is pre-code horror featuring the work of some of the finest artists and writers of the time. Not just about witches, despite the title, but it's a variety of weird and horrifying tales, including some like this one, which lean a little more towards the fantasy science fiction type. When I say fantasy science fiction, because it's supposed to be science fiction, but it's not based in any science. But it's not magic based in the story. And I have no idea who wrote it or who drew it. Some of those who are more familiar with pre-code horror could probably tell me, but there's no credits, no text in the book to tell you anything like that. So I have no idea. This is before stuff that I used to read. So let's take a little adventure into the macabre in Witch's Tales #1. And here we are. You can get a better view of this creepy image of ghouls coming up out of the grave and a lovely lady in bondage. Okay, and this is a facsimile edition, reprinting the contents of Witch's Tales #1. This is from Classic Comics Library.biz or Classic Comics Library at yahoo.com. And it's reprinted on heavy cardstock. Nice and glossy, so it gets lots of glare. Lots of glare. I said, I don't know who did it. I don't know who did it. They're creepy. Of course, this is before the comics code, so they could be a little wilder there. We'll get right into this story. And here we go. See the inside cover ads. And here we go. This is the one I was looking at. No titles. And the monster of Mad Mountain. But you can see already just in that splash panel, some really nice work on that figure. And then quickly goes right into the story. Of course, at this time everything was short. Were short stories, 6 to 8 pages thereabouts, and this is no different. Shows this scientist and his assistant, and they're talking about, oh, we just made this great breakthrough. It's going to do wonders for the world. He turns his back on his assistant, stabs him, killed him. Mojek is the guy's name who's doing the killing. See, it's square bound, and it's difficult to hold the book open. And there he lays down and says, no, you mustn't use the result. Okay. The guy dies. He goes and walls him up in the wall in the basement, so no one can find him. Then he's out walking. He says, got to find a subject. It's got to be a strong man to take the sharks, because it's somehow using electricity. It's some new process that uses electricity. And here he's walking across this field out in the middle of nowhere, when he's charged by an enraged bull, and this big strapping young man, Lenny will help you, and one whack with his pitchfork across the head and lays that bull low, which would be marvelous. Here you see the helping the guy up and said, hey, you're a big strong fella. I could use you. Would you come and kind of work for me? I'll double your pay. And, okay, and down the road, as long as I can bring my dog Jigger. He's my pal. And it kind of lulls him, gains his confidence for over several weeks, and having him just do odd stuff. And then he sets him up to, hey Lenny, grab those two cables. Okay. Zap. He gets a big zap of whatever this process is, and goes, okay, oh, are you okay? I'm sorry, I didn't know that circuit was alive. And, oh, yeah, I just feel a little dizzy. So then he's out there later. The electricity, the power and secret of life. So, I have found the man who is going to give me power. Power! Power! He's just a mad scientist. That's all he wants is, I'll make him invincible and he'll be my slave. And he starts drugging him, so he passes out. He can give him more and more powerful treatments of this process that he's got. And in the process, he gets him submissive and kind of enslaves him. Says, here, put this special suit on. And of course it looks like a superhero suit with trunks and tights and stuff. So there's no real reason for that. But he makes sure he doesn't touch him, because if Lenny touches him, it could zap him. Here he is. Someone's come to the door. Quick, Lenny, hide. Lenny hides, and the guy said, I'm very sorry, I won't be able to you won't be able to see Lenny. He's not feeling well. And then they can just see Lenny peeking out in it, but they don't recognize Lenny because he's changed so much. Because he's even bigger and stronger and kind of grotesque looking. And then they take off and they go to get help at the town, saying they've done something. And even, so Lenny, when he even approaches his dog, come here, Jigger, what's the matter with you? Even Jigger won't come near him. And that really riles him up. He gets pissed, and he smashes down the door and comes after the doctor. Says, what have you done to me? What have you done to me? Grabs him up, and it just, because he's got all this electricity charge stored up in his body, and just zaps the crap right out of the doctor until he's dead. And then he goes on a rampage. My head. And he's running around town, and they're trying to get, because they don't realize it's Lenny. Oh, help. And then they track him down, and they try to shoot him, but to no avail. And he's out there, and he's picking up these huge boulders, and has a really nice figure. on there. And he's throwing these huge boulders down at the people. Says, "Glory be, it's the monster!" Turns over that hay wagon, and the electricity sets the hay alight, and they're shooting at him as he's trying to get away. And then he touches the barbed wire fence as he's leaping over it. Oh, I had a little bout of coughing there. As Lenny's leaps over the fence, and he gets all tangled in the wire, and the wire drains all that electric charge off into the ground. And there he's back to normal. Oh, and the dog Jigger comes up to him. "Jigger, my little old pal, where you been, Jigger? I missed you good." Oh, and then he passes away. He dies from all this horrendous stuff that happened to him. And then little Jigger just howls mournfully. Oh, that's sad. Yeah, it has a sad conclusion. It's not really as spooky, and it's not as horrifying. It's kind of in keeping with some of the 50s science fiction / horror movies from the 50s. And of course, it's got a text page. Goes to some others. Really nice stories. Nice artwork. Creepy stories. More text. Oh, this one's really nice. Yeah. And that is it for Witches' Tales for our Halloween fest this month. So, thank you for joining me. Please like, share, subscribe, leave a comment. And we enjoy these pre-code horror things because they're not as restrictive. And thanks for joining me. Remember, comics are art.